I think this is like a must-have for anybody who's like big into the Apple ecosystem, who wants to cut down on the amount of cables and just crap that you have to carry with you. What's up guys, my name is Bobby and today we're going to be taking a look at a few different products from a company that reached out to me and actually sent me, in my opinion, what is one of the coolest, most unique products that I have seen in my time doing these kind of things. Honestly, you're definitely not going to want to miss this, especially if you're into like EDC gadgets and kind of cool ways to streamline your setup. Without further ado, let's jump into it. So the company that we're going to be looking at today is called Momax. Now, all of these products should be available on Amazon, and I will have the links to them down in the description below. But they had some really cool stuff that they sent over to me, and I've been trying it out, and I'd love to kind of get into it. So the first product we're going to be looking at is actually one that I haven't had a chance to play around with. And the reason for that is because the way my desk setup is, I didn't initially think that I would get a ton of use out of this particular guy. But the more I've kind of looked into it and, thought about things, I think it's actually pretty sweet. And so what this is they call it the Arc 2 tablet laptop storage stand, the KH7. And let's just crack into it. It's got a pretty unique design, and it's something that I haven't seen before actually. Okay, so now, as you see, this guy has almost like a spring design that when you slide your laptop down into the middle, it pushes this down and clamps onto your laptop and keeps it in place, which is honestly something really cool. I've never seen a laptop stand do that. Just for example, this is like a laptop that my work sent me, but when you slide it down in, as you guys can see, it clamps down on it, which is really cool. Definitely something nice just for kind of like desk organization. And the part that I didn't notice at first that I think is actually really cool, that would be worth potentially swapping out what I currently am using as a situation for this particular guy, is if you take a look at the sides, there's actually these like little ridges on either side, and you can actually use those for a tablet storage or like a phone storage. And so as you can see, this lets me like sit my iPad kind of up against where my computer is as well. So now I would be able to have, my computer right here, my iPad right there. I mean, you could actually, in theory, just do that too if you wanted. I don't know how good that is to, having it pinch across the screen. But it's a unique design. It's definitely a cool idea. The build quality feels pretty solid too. I mean, it's not like heavy metal or anything like that, but it's nice enough to where I wouldn't be afraid to put my laptop in there. And just overall a cool little product. So I'm gonna actually, rock this most likely. And if I have any further thoughts, I'll definitely let you know. All right, so the second product we're gonna be taking a look at is the Mag Mount 2 15-watt magnetic wireless charging car mount, the CM19. Quite the mouthful, but essentially what this is it's a magnetic MagSafe charging car mount. So if you've been watching this channel for a little while, I did a review of the Belkin MagSafe car mount. That was the version that doesn't have any sort of charging capabilities on it, and I've been using that ever since it came out. I really kind of figured that if I wanted to charge my phone, I would just plug a lightning cable into it while it was up there, and then that way I wouldn't have to have like a cable and going down to the cigarette lighter. But with this particular guy, I set it up in my car, and there's something kind of cool about it too that I thought was neat. So if you guys see right here, it actually has this little like leg that kind of sits behind it, and that leg lets you kind of pivot it and swivel to apply a little bit more pressure to whatever surface that the car mount is sitting on, basically kind of stabilizing it. So if you see, it fits in your air vent, and then it has these two little legs that kind of prop it up and support it. Plugs in via a USB cable to regular USB. You just plug that into, some sort of adapter in your cigarette lighter, or if you have a USB port in your car, that works too. And it does charge my phone. From what I can tell, I mean, I didn't do any official speed testing or anything like that, but I use a lot of different MagSafe charging methods, and I have a pretty good gauge of when something's charging faster than another one. And this guy was definitely charging it pretty quick. I would say it is close to that 15 watts, if not exactly at that 15 watts. I obviously wasn't able to 100% measure that, but it felt like 15 watts, which was awesome. Now, even though I had to have a cable kind of running down from where this guy sits in my car vent all the way to my, cigarette lighter, I honestly didn't mind it that much. I thought I would. I mean, it is a little annoying sometimes how it kind of goes across, where the shifter is, but not the biggest deal in the world. I've seen people do solutions too where they take those little kind of cable runners and have them stuck to the side of the little console area so that it's out of the way. That's something I'll probably do whenever I get around to it. But honestly, super convenient, really sweet little product. And I thought those little extra feet, the way it allowed it to support the device, it almost felt like it wasn't getting messed up as much. Because when you have a MagSafe car mount, a lot of times what happens is since you're putting it on and pulling it off and putting it on and pulling it off, and that is like a magnetic connection, it'll kind of get moved out of whack just from the nature of like pulling two magnets apart, especially one that's kind of like stuck into a vent of a car. So having those two legs to kind of support it, I felt like kind of cut down on some of the wobble that you get from putting it on, putting it off. MagSafe strength was totally perfect. Never had any issue with that. Overall, pretty solid product, and I'll link it down below. Not bad at all. Okay, moving on to the main star of the show, the main attraction, and the thing that I was the most excited to test out when this company reached out to me. This is gonna be the Airbox. So this is a device that I've never seen something like it, and honestly adds a lot of convenience to my life and cuts out the need for me to carry multiple different things with me whenever I'm out and about. I'm able to just throw this one device in my bag and it kind of covers all my bases, and I really do appreciate it for that. So to start things off, this is it right here. So this is the Momax Airbox. And what it is it's a 10,000 milliamp battery charging station / power bank. So if you see down here, it's got a USB-C port. You can power it up via that. Little LED light indicator. When you click it, it'll tell you how much juice is left in the actual box itself. And then really where it kind of comes into, its full form is when you crack this guy open. It gives you multiple different places to kind of charge all your different Apple devices. So if you're in the Apple ecosystem, this thing is like an absolute no-brainer, especially if you kind of have the full gambit of different things that Apple has to offer. The thing that initially attracted me to it is it actually has a magnetic charging slot for the Apple Pencil. I believe it's charging the Apple Pencil. I should double check on that. Aha. It doesn't charge the Apple Pencil, but it stores the Apple Pencil. Still, that's totally fine with me because when I'm using my iPad, I honestly don't use the Apple Pencil all the time. And it really, it's nice to have it magnetically attached to it. So, with the current generation Apple Pencil, it just snaps to the side like that and it will charge wirelessly while it's doing that. But a lot of times I don't honestly use it. It's really kind of only when I'm doing thumbnails or maybe some photo editing or something like that. So having a place that I can store it with, knowing that it's not going to get messed up or lost or screwed up in my bag or something like that, honestly super convenient in my opinion. Now the other cool aspects of it is right in this little particular area, you actually are going to get a place to store and charge your AirPods. And so as far as the wireless charging goes for your AirPods, you got to make sure you press the button and it's on. And then when you set it down in this little cavity area, it's been kind of interesting trying to figure out if it works with the case. It does work. You kind of got to jam it in there a little bit and it will charge with the case on. Honestly though, if you want the best results, the no case route is definitely, best for that. And as you can see, it charges it immediately. And it's pretty nice too. It'll actually house them and keep them nice and safe and protected. And so that way, if you don't have your AirPods with you all the time, or you want to just have somewhere to store them nice, you can actually do that really easily, and it'll charge them up right there. And then over here, you're gonna actually have this little fold-up flap that's actually meant to charge the Apple Watch. And in my experience, I tried it out. It charges it pretty fast. I wouldn't say it's as fast as the new kind of fast charging for the Series 7, but when you go ahead and put it on there, as you guys can see, it's charging my Apple Watch totally fine and still charging this. And then the final piece of the puzzle is right here, and this is actually just a Qi charger where you can go ahead and set your phone down. So this gives you access to charge all these different things, whether it's like, you know, your phone, an additional set of AirPods, you can just toss them right there and it'll do that. You obviously can't store the Apple Watch inside here, but most people wear their Apple Watch, so that's not a big deal. But the convenience that you get, you know, to be able to have like holding these two devices and charging all your devices in one kind of compact little sleek device, I think is so awesome in my opinion. And it's a 10,000 milliamp battery. You actually can plug a USB-C cord into the little port right here and wired charge something. So if you want to charge up your iPad or your phone via, you know, an actual cable, you get a lot of flexibility with it in that regard. The build quality is super solid. You know, my experience is it charged up the entire device pretty quick as well. Being that I work from home, there's not a ton of scenarios where, you know, I have super strenuous battery needs on the go. So this has been just kind of really great for me when I'm traveling. That's been like the main use I've gotten out of it. But overall, for the price point, this guy I think runs around $100. I'll leave a link to it down in the description below. I think this is like a must-have for anybody who's like big into the Apple ecosystem, who wants to cut down on the amount of cables and just crap that you have to carry with you. You know, when you open up the box, I believe there's like a case in it too, which is pretty sweet. So let's go ahead and crack into this guy again. I tried to keep it as intact as possible. Yeah, so when you open up this, boom, there you go. So this is like a microfiber, almost like bag for it. That is another thing to notice. This thing is like an absolute fingerprint magnet. So if that kind of thing bothers you, you know, maybe put some stickers on it, or just appreciate that they send you like a microfiber bag with it. But this is nice too, because you can toss like maybe like a USB-C to lightning cable in there, or like a USB-C to USB-C cable. And that's just super convenient, so that you can have all your wireless charging needs and the, you know, wired charging needs. And so overall, this thing is sweet. As far as the cable that comes with it, let's take a look. I forgot what they sent with it. It has this little thing in here. Yeah, so the USB-C to USB, pretty decent cable. It's not braided or anything, but who cares? It's not necessary. But yeah, overall, thank you so much, Momax, for sending all this great stuff. I highly, highly recommend it. Obviously, this is probably my favorite item, would be this guy right here. So if you want to pick up any of this stuff, the link to it will be down in the description below. And if you are interested in it, I would appreciate if you use those links. It does help out the channel and doesn't cost you anything extra. It just lets them know that I sent you. But yeah, with that being said, thank you guys so much, and I appreciate it more than I can say. Leave a thumbs up, comment if you have any questions, and until next time, peace.